Gauranga, Gauranga, Nityananda, Gauranga. Gauranga, Gauranga, Nityananda, Gauranga. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Good morning. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jesus Prabhupada, Jesus Prabhupada, Jesus Prabhupada. Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Advaita Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Nityananda, Nityananda, Gaura Chandra, Gaura Chandra, Nityananda, Nityananda, Gaura Chandra, Gaura Chandra, Nityananda, Nityananda, Gaura Chandra, Gaura Chandra, Nityananda, Nityananda, Gaura Chandra, Gaura Chandra. Nityananda, Nityananda, Gaura Chandra, Gaura Chandra. Nityananda, Nityananda, Gaura Chandra. Nityananda, Nityananda, Gaura Chandra, 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 Gaura Chandra. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Yeah, Tom, get some balance, man. Like grounding. I noticed I was watching a video. It's just you're a little spaced out. Get grounded. Do some exercise or yoga, something, get in your body, solids. Get some solid because yeah. So, yeah, do something like that, exercise or just go, do something. Yeah, go ahead.
He's full of bites.
Let me get my head.
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Try now.
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's full of bites, so they can poison you. Can
Oh, bites.
bites? Yeah, he writes from mites or
Yeah.
something, or mosquitoes or something. He's full
Oh,
of bites. He says, and you are a bit ill.
yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah. So anyway, try to take care of what you got to do. Where you? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, you figure it out. Okay. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah, we'll talk about that, Fanny, in a little bit. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna. All right, we'll talk about it now. I guess I get some idea here. Krishna. Let's see here. Okay, why do people block? What's coming to me is now is this is my my take on it. Other people probably have some other takes. So, is purification is in the sense of personally, I think these persons going through this purification are getting too much public about it, and it might be burning people out. You just go right out the, you're going through stuff, and then you got to go so vocal on it that you have to have the whole world know about it, and then draw people into it. I think it just kind of burns people instead of just kind of like going through what you got to go through and dealing individually with somebody. This thing going have to go out there. I'm going through a lot of stuff, and I got the whole world needs to know. And that's my take. Is just if it was a little more private when you're going through stuff, just know it's temporary, and you don't have to draw the whole world into it, or attack people, or I don't know. It's just what do you think there, Lalita? You're dealing with a lot of devotees. Why do people blocking each other?
Because they are in
Oh, oh, let me get
depends, or for
depends.
different reasons. Some
Yeah.
want to teach somebody else, some want to defend, some others want to have distance to protect
Uh-huh.
their own bhakti.
Protect their
Some
bhakti.
block out of being furious, and I'm gonna block you
Oh,
now.
really? A lot of stuff. Huh? Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, you just yeah. So it's purification. Yeah, just it's maybe just too intense when you're going through it to deal with each other. Ultimately, it just. every spiritual path I've seen so far, they have this thing going on. You know, it just stuff comes up from it, and you got to deal with it. And so this is one way, I guess, devotees are doing it. I mean, there's some like for me, for my preaching, sometimes I'll have to temporarily block certain people, even in the sangha that, they refuse, they refuse, or they do, odd things, just really weird things. And it's usually just temporary. So far, it's always been temporary, unless they're like outsiders, from the outside, and they just really do like attacking and all that. Yeah. So people are just getting purified. Um, no, that's okay. Yeah. Um, I mean, I gave up Vaishnavism because was looking around for some kind of like role models, and I saw the gurus. I thought they're all fighting. They're fighting for this, and I thought, well, God, maybe go back to Jesus or something. So, yeah, it's just it is purification, and you know, um, and different reasons. Yeah. So it's just part of it, it's getting better. It's getting better, isn't it? There generally, Lilita. What do you think? Much better than up and down, up and down. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So the main thing, don't lose sight of the goal. Just people. We're people, and under conditionings and conditions. Look at the world's condition. Yeah, it's a miracle we're doing what we're doing. And the main thing is to stay with Krishna, and we're all getting connected and purified by doing that. And yeah, stay with that. Don't look so much at the external, like what people are going through. That's all temporary. You know, you know, people are just trying to just deal with it, deal with life, deal with the purification and stuff. So yeah, that's my take on it. What else we got, Griffin? We tend to block each other because we tend to be too full of ourselves, that there is a division, and tend to believe that we must stay true to who we are meant to be, and we should not expect everyone to be where we are. In the final analysis, we all continue to be purified. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, purify. Actually, the main thing is to get attracted to Krishna and Krishna's pastimes and names. Even whatever is left over, it's just even the Shastras teach that you go and you go to where Krishna has his pastimes, and you just clear off whatever, and you just continue clearing it off. You can see the devotees were getting purified even when Lord Chaitanya was here. People were at different stages. So the the work goes on. They had their problems too. I mean, Prabhupada also. Just, yeah.
Yeah, you said in the disciples of Jesus there was a lot of fighting.
Oh yeah, they had fighting too. They're fighting. That's why they came up. Must have. I mean, you can infer a lot of this stuff. Why are they asking? How many times should I forgive my brother? Because all this same kind of stuff is coming up. And Jesus said, just keep doing it, keep doing it. And then he says, well, they should know you my how if you're my disciples, how much you love each other, because ultimately you have to see that how's your relationships with the devotees, how tolerant are you, how deep are you, how should show in your relationships. How accepting are you, like when people are going through stuff. Yeah, it's getting better. Blocking is also about taking distance. Yeah, that's right. I can also. Yeah, I mean, sometimes some devotees, they just, even though you may say, I don't want to hear it, they just come at you. It's like a boundary issues. Oh man, people got all kinds of things going on in their lives. So it's like a halfway house. You got to see we're getting more healed spiritually. Yeah. Yeah, so good comments there. To me, people are victims of circumstances. Yeah, so why blame or blocking them? Then you can block everybody. Well, as people have to deal with things the way they deal with them. Some people will block, some people don't. Yeah, yeah. So don't lose sight of the goal. The goal that we're attaining every day. It's just enjoy the ride. And this other stuff is the spin off. This is coming out of people, and a lot of the I could see that the what it is just our conditioning. A lot of this stuff. I know for myself, the more I just get into just the happiness of being in the real self, then there's less of this, having to, there's all these things mixed in when you're getting, I mean, like the more grosser levels of purity. Like I want to be I want people to acknowledge me. That, I mean, believe that causes problems. You know, I want to be, not acknowledged, and so then you got to deal with that. That's a conditioning, and so people deal with it different ways. So it's just purification. Yeah. Okay, what else we got? We are given compassion. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, just whatever you do, however you deal with it. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Nityananda, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Ah, oh my God. This makes it all worth it. Whatever bullshit we have to put up with each other, this makes it all worth it. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. And we're all connected to this. Isn't it amazing? So great. Shri Krishna Jai. Oh, my Lord Shri Krishna. Thank you so much. You make everything worth it, man. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Nityananda, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hey Govinda, welcome. Thank you for coming. Accept my obeisances. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Ah, take a little break from this here. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda. Yes, yeah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna. Yeah. So people just go through stuff and you just, you know, just keep going, And basically, it's just the Lord makes it tolerable. That's basically what I'm noticing. You just become more tolerable of things and people because of closeness with God. You become more and more like the Lord that you're worshiping. And qualities start to manifest. Yeah. So people got to get there, and it's not. We're not like trying to get people that are perfect to come. Whoever will come, whoever wants to take shelter, that's Lord Chaitanya's style. People come here sometimes when they have little mental illness. What are you going to do? So they flip out sometimes. Little stuff. I might even have. Maybe I have some mental illness. Who the hell knows? You know. But Krishna's the doctor. He's nice, right? We just come to him for medication. He's our medicine. He's our meds, man. That's what I do. I just come here every day for my meds. I come take my meds. He's my med. Medic. Hey, patch me up, Lord. It's nice to have, at least we have a doctor on staff on call. You know, just think of this as a visit to the hospital. So I thought, there were some questions in the class this morning. Very interesting. It's very deep too. That conversation very deep. Um, so I think Shamaguri said something about paying obeisances. To there's karmis and then there's devotees. And should we pay obeisances to the devotees? And why did Prabhupada? You know, so that kind of thing, which is, but if you get clearer about these things, it helps a lot. So that's why you kind of get a framework over things. And so anyway, yeah, basically, let's start with Daksha. Let's start with Daksha had this pastime. I'll read a little bit here. Read a little bit here and get into the conversation. It's interesting. It's nice to know things clearly, and not be out in the dark. Who's this here? Duplicate. Okay, this is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4. Canto 4. Yeah, let's see. So, yeah, Daksha curses Lord Shiva. You want to read here a little bit there for me? There, this is some action pastime here a little bit.
Yeah, I will. Tell me, what chapter is it, Guru Maharaj?
Verse 1.
What chapter?
Oh,
What chapter?
chapter. Yeah, chapter. Let's see here. Chapter 2.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever read this chapter there, Lalita?
No,
Oh, yeah, good.
but you talked about it.
Yeah, I talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
It's great. It's really, I like it. Actually, see, we're kind of Shiva style here. It's very much so. Yeah.
Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vidura inquired, why was Daksha, who was so affectionate towards his daughter, envious of Lord Shiva, who is the best among the gentle? Why did he neglect his daughter Sati? Lord Shiva,
Oh, is Shamaguri here today?
I
She
don't think so. I haven't seen her.
really? Oh man, she should come. Anyway,
Oh, she's there. I see
she's
she
there.
shows up.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
good.
she's there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Lord Shiva, the spiritual master of the entire world, is free from enmity, is a peaceful, a peaceful personality, and is always satisfied in himself. He is the greatest among the demigods. How is it possible that Daksha could be inimical towards such an auspicious personality? My dear Maitreya, to part when one's life is very difficult. Would you kindly explain to me how such a son-in-law and father-in-law could quarrel so bitterly that the great goddess Sati could give up her life?
Yeah, this is this is why the Bhagavatam's not really usually preached, because so deep. This stuff. Why would and this is our preaching here. Why most devotees can't understand it, because it's the real deep truth of the Bhagavatam. Why would actually Shiva like be inimical towards a person, an auspicious person like Daksha. He was in a mode of goodness. He's a demigod, Prajapati. It seems odd. It seems out of character for a devotee, to actually be like that. But this is the higher levels of understanding, refining everything to the soul level, and beyond the bodily etiquettes, and to bring people to the level of the soul. You have to understand clearly these things, the difference. Otherwise, you mix it together. And so Shiva wanted to help bring Daksha to the next platform of understand what is a real devotee. And Daksha was just a Brahmin. He had a Brahmin mentality, just like now, just like Devananda Pandit. See, he was just like a Brahmin, and Lord Chaitanya pulled a Shiva trip on him. The same kind of thing. Seems like why the Lord is shouldn't Lord Chaitanya, who's God Himself, be like also supposed to be like a devotee, is always peaceful and always equal and never has any enemies and never inimical, never fights. They're just this rug you just step on, just a rug you just jump on the rub, and it's just a rug, doesn't do anything. So, but here, these are the deeper teachings of how to understand the difference between the soul and the body, and those who identify with the body, and may even think it's the bodies, the subtle bodies, or the soul, the subtle bodies of the false ego. That's what I found in some of these sanghas. See, that are in the name of Raganuga, just like Daksha thought, oh, this false ego of pride and austerity, like this is what Daksha was doing. He thought, oh, I'm a pure devotee, and all these Brahmins, millions of them. See, it's not surprising here. And here I'm preaching like that kind of level stuff, and they go, and, oh, Daksha, he's the great one, he's it. And Daksha he's still identified with the body of the false ego as a body. It's a false ID. It's a false body. Gives you false identification. That's why they call it false prestige. So he's being honored as prestigious and fantastic because of how he's dressed and his position. And so nobody can see he's identified with the subtle false ego of pride, jealousy, and all this. And Shiva is also in the assembly, and nobody gives him any honor at all. And he's the real advanced one. He's identifies with the soul. He's a pure devotee, purified devotee. He's looking at Daksha, and he sees all these people bowing down to Daksha and all this stuff. And he's thinking, oh, look at this. They're worshiping him. Let's bring them to another level. But you can't bring anybody to another level without a fight. That's what do you think Jesus said? Hey, don't think I've come to promote peace. Do you want to bring people to another level? You can't do it without a fight. It's going to be something. Going to be some trouble. Going to stir up because the modes of nature are naturally fighting each other. And then you bring in pure goodness to the world. You don't think the mode of goodness is not going to fight with it?
Of course. Absolutely.
Yeah. See? So Shiva is an act of compassion. He's like Jesus did the same thing. That's why a lot of people think, well, maybe they got a little bit of similar. Actually, any Shaktives empowered incarnation has to have some of that. Has to have some fight in them. They have to do it because you got to, the modes are going to come after them. You got to be ready for that, man. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. What else? Yeah, go ahead and let's see how this develops here.
The sage Maitreya said, in a former time, the leaders of the universal creation performed a great sacrifice, in which all the great sages, philosophers, demigods, and fire gods assembled with their followers. When Daksha, the leader of the Prajapatis, entered that assembly, his personal bodily luster, as bright as the effulgence of the sun. The entire assembly was illuminated, and all the assembled personalities they became insignificant in his presence.
It shows you Daksha was a really high level in that way, and he's shown is this is more of a Brahman effulgence.
Mm,
This like the and this is attracts Mayavadis and
yeah.
Brahmins. See, so he's shining there, and the demigods say, "Oh, he's got to be the greatest person there," because he's shining with this oneness, equally disposed towards all living beings and all this. It's kind of a Brahmin thing. Um, so Shiva, people can't see him. He's at a whole nother level. It's beyond their sight. That's why you see people of the world can generally see up into the mode of goodness, and they aspire for that. They aspire. I mean, like those who are progressive in the world, they like to they look up to good people. A lot of people they oh, this is a very good person. He does a lot of charity work for people. Matter of fact, the demons use that too to trick people. They Bill Gates, these guys are actual demons, and they use philanthropy because they know. See, they're very tricky. They know people. People will respect people. Good people will respect people that do charity. So they do charity work. The demons have been using this technique for a long time. You can do research now if you want to find it interesting. You can see how the who is it Rockefellers is it? Yeah. Anyway, some of those guys they use this often so that people develop faith in them. See, it's all about faith. Develop faith. Oh, Bill Gates, I have faith in him. He's doing all these good things. But there are often demons. They're tricking people using that. Just like they often demons and envious people are in religion, and they use religion to trick people because they know that people have faith in God, and they can use that to trick people. So they're just do. It's all over the place. This kind of thing, and that's why we really need the protection of the Lord and the Vaishnavas and Guru. Actually, if you can find one, if you're lucky, uh, because we get the Lord shows His intimate devotees how this Maya is working, and they can even see, like I see it in the scriptures. He should, I look at these pastimes and I say, oh, I see that. Then I look in the world. I say, oh, they're identified it. See, so you don't have to go, follow that or be bewildered by it. A lot of this stuff is happening now. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Influenced by his personal bodily luster, all the fire gods and the other participants in that great assemble, with the exceptions of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they gave up their own sitting place and they stood in respect for Daksha.
Okay, see, this is like paying obeisances. See, they were stood up is like paying obeisance. You give exceptional respect. So they're saying, no, Daksha he's the brightest person there. He's the most advanced personality there, most advanced devotee. And in a sense, he was not a devotee yet. See, this is the thing when you say, well, Prabhupada made the movements for devotees, but they're not devotees yet. Devotees mean devotion. So, but there's a word for this. They call it an abbas, a shadow of a devotee.
Mm,
See? So these shadows of a devotees identify. Oh, I'm a devotee now. Okay, it's like practicing. Oh, I chant Hare Krishna, and you're just chanting Krishna's name, and the bhakti hasn't awakened yet. So you're not a devotee. You're not self-realized yet, but you act as a devotee. So it's a neophyte position and it's an abbas position because you got to have the symptoms of a devotee. So and that's when devotion starts to pure devotion starts to manifest in your heart. Now you're considered a devotee. You're beginning becoming a real devotee. See, real. There's it's now the word becomes flesh. See, remember, Lord Jesus, the word became flesh. He becomes in you. You become that. But so it's good to make a distinction. Otherwise, it's unclear. You just so Daksha sees, or Shiva sees Daksha is still under the covering of the false ego, identifying that as the self. He was proud. He was falsely prestigious. He thought he was a great person. And see, these are when you're under the false identification, you don't
Mm.
see clearly because you're under. It's like a covering your eyes. So the Pharisees have that kind of thing. Uh, it's a false ego layer, and in Vaishnavism, there's a lot of that. I saw that in the Narayan Raj group. They're identifying with that as the real thing, and so it's a similar thing. You see, like I'm not standing up for it. Everybody else. They got millions and thousands of devotees, all in Narayan. What? It's a daksha. It's a Shiva thing. This is how we bringing people to the next level. Got to do it, otherwise they stay where they are. Somebody's got to reveal the position, the actual position of that. Otherwise, people believe in that. So Shiva said, "Okay, I'm not going to stand up for this. I'm not going to pay obeisances to this because he's not really self-realized."
Mm.
And I'm not going to pay obeisances to that. To me, that's actually Narayan Mirage was very similar to the Daksha thing. He's got some effulgence. I noticed it was charismatic. It was attractive to devotees. That's why a lot of people came, cultured people. Yeah? And so that's what I was spent a year and a half to figure. Okay, what's going on here, really? And I'm looking here and going to classes, and I stayed in Vrindavan a year and a half in Vrindavan, looking over this stuff, going to festivals and stuff. So it was like this effulgent, and so most people think, oh, they assume, yeah, it's like that. But you see,
It's
the bottom
material.
line is that's why I'm preaching now, and I got the order from Prabhupada because I have stuff to back it up now. I say, well, look, where's he's supposed to be a spontaneous devotee? Where's his power to awaken devotion like we're doing
Yeah.
here?
Mhm.
Where is his authorization from Lord Caitanya and Radha and Krishna and the Parampara? See? So now we can, people, that's why I say if people come here, you're going to get the higher experience. You'll get what Lord Shiva gave those who finally surrendered to the next platform, which he was. They became real devotees and not just a boss, demigod types, and under the false ego. So Krishna did that to Indra also and to Brahma. They had a little false identification, and see that's the higher level. This pure devotional level it's really special, man. It's not to be reckoned with. It's a very special thing when Jesus comes, and when Lord Chaitanya comes, and the Krishna comes, and their followers are here and preaching, until they depart. Then the Maya just rushes in and just creates havoc again. Yeah.
And they are attached. They,
What?
they are attached on the fact that we should offer our obeisances unto them, while we are not attached on that at all. We are
No,
not waiting for
and
that.
yeah, and Shiva even said, he said, you don't offer obeisances to the living entity that identifies with the false ego. You
That's it.
identify, you can pay obeisances to the super soul within their hearts, and you can just do that in your mind. I mean, a devotee naturally does that. Naturally pays obeisance to the super soul everywhere. Is always in that under the, as a devotee. A devotee sees the Krishna everywhere. He's paying obeisances. He sees the Lord in the heart everywhere.
Yeah.
naturally these days. You don't have to like make some official thing because those persons. It's a little hypocritical in a sense because they'll pay obeisances to Prabhu because you're supposed to and Prabhupada said and the Vedas say, and then the next 2 minutes they're at each other's throat, fighting each other. Well,
Oh,
what sincerity is that? Prabhu. Maybe obeisance. Blah blah blah. Blah. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. It's very superficial. That's why I said Lord Chaitanya when he said Varnashram Dharma, and Ramananda Roy said Varna. Yeah, it's external. But tell me something deeper. It's not. So it's not. It's the shadows. These are ceremonies. That's why I poo-poo all these things, man. Yeah. But somebody's got to do it. Otherwise, this will not. Love of God can't be preached. See? Go ahead, read on. It's more interesting.
yeah. Um, Daksha was adequately welcomed by the president of the Great Assembly, Lord Brahma. After offering Lord Brahma respect, Daksha, by the order of Brahma, properly took his seat. Before taking his seat, however, Daksha was very much offended to see Lord Shiva sitting and not showing him any respect.
Troublemaker, man. Why couldn't he just go with it? Why couldn't he just follow the etiquette and just pay obeisances like the millions of other demi? He has to be one guy there standing for the truth, right? Just like that. What is the difference here? One guy, this Gohar with a t-shirt, standing up against the whole everything. Not just ISKCON, but a whole thing.
Completely convinced that we are right.
Completely. Go ahead.
At the time, Daksha became greatly angry, and his eyes glowing, he began to speak very
This is
strongly.
how it is when you have false ego.
Oh, yeah.
It's never enough. You don't have is you can have thousands of followers. It's never enough. If you don't have that one person not giving you respect, immediately anger comes and all of this. It's just never enough to feed. That's why I don't feed it here. And some of the devotees are getting so much respect. People coming in, but if one person doesn't do it, they're all offended. The same bullshit here. That's the anarta insight that's coming out. So this is one guy. All it took was Shiva to just sit down, not stand up, nothing, and there it comes. He purified him just by acting in the truth. See, and so what is the moral of the story? See, Shiva did the right thing. You should never pay obeisances to Maya. Don't submit to Maya. See, don't have faith in illusion wherever she is. See, and that's what he's saying. I'm not going to pay my obeisances to the living entity identifying with the false prestige. I don't want to feed that weed.
No.
Yeah. And he thought, well, I don't, because he could have just paid those respects to the super soul there, and they wouldn't know anything. They think, well, see, he's paying his respects to Daksha, but no, he was really doing it to super soul. But then there's not so much value in that. There's more value if you start a little fight, and bring people up to the next platform. Otherwise, they stay there. They'll stay worshiping Daksha for millions of years because they live millions of years there. And Daksha will always be the greatest person in their eyes, but he's not really conclusively so. That's this preaching here. I mean, people have no idea, really. I'm just getting the idea myself. That this is top level preaching. This is really deep stuff. That's why it's uncommon to sit there and challenge the whole world, and like this is what Shiva did with Doc. He challenged the whole world who believed, the whole universe practically believed in this Daksha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jayapataka and
yeah.
Radhanath and
Oh
Ramai.
yeah,
Makes me think everything
yeah.
you say, I'm constantly thinking about Ramai.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, how dare they? And you don't think anything. And so Shiva's also like, see, because he's conclusive, he knows the truth, and that's where real peace is. Nobody's ever finds peace if you're worshiping a person like Daksha. Daksha had all those qualities like Narayan Raj and everything, and I see nobody's getting the shelter because still identification with this fall. I always knew there was something subtle off, you know. And I wonder, where's this ecstatic devotion? They're all blah blah talking about it all, but no ecstatic worship, you know. And nice people, you know, it's all like a demigod thing, you know. And people are thinking, oh, this is it, but nobody gets what it is. See, what it is this what we have, this pure worship. Shiva had that also. That's why he's known. He beats that drum and he dances and he laughs and cries like a madman. See, he's got that kind of ecstasy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deep realizations come from that ecstasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Read on.
So at that time, Daksha became greatly angry, and his eyes glowing, he began to speak very strongly against Lord Shiva. All sages, Brahmanas, and fire gods present, please hear me with attention, for I speak about the manners of gentle persons. I do not speak out of ignorance or envy.
Yeah, and he did. It's the opposite. See, and this is going on in the world. It's going on in religion. You can see it more clearly now. See, he's saying, "Oh, I'm not envious," and he's envious. See?
Yeah.
Oh, you gentle persons. He's not. He's inside. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And this is the world. This is religion. These are your gurus, man. You know, they're wolves in sheep's clothing. You know, they're your hindrance to get into the kingdom. They may help you into the mode of goodness, maybe get you regulated and all that. But if you want to get into the kingdom, you got to have a Shiva teaching. You know, you have to have the real Bhagavatam taught to you because these gurus can't teach it. They can teach the Daksha style speculations, and they don't. How can a person covered by the false ego of being a Brahmin, you know, and that identification, uh, or a sannyasi in the Varnashram system, and that's all you identify with? How can they bring you to the spiritual world? They haven't attained it themselves. That consciousness. They can't preach the real Bhagavatam to you. I'm preaching this. You can analyze. You know, you can. Anybody can take this class and say, "Hey, Acharya Dave, you give a class on this." And the only thing he could do, if the best he could do, would be to cheat and listen to this class first, and then just parrot what he said. If Krishna would let him figure it out. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
Shiva has spoiled the name and fame of the governors of the universe, and he has polluted the path of gentle manners.
Yeah, he spoiled the governors of the universe. See, the governors of the universe are the demigods, and now, and this planet, the demons. They're governing the world. They're in competition now with the. This is see, they're also fighting. You know, the demigods want control. They want, this is the capitalist democratic thing. The demons lean towards the communism because it gives them more like they like authority. They like being authoritative. They love slaves. They just love it. I mean, this is their way. You know. And the demigods, they want more freedom. They're just natural, so they got this thing going now on this planet. Okay? See, so anyway, Daksha, he's he's now trying to do a character assassination on Shiva. See, so he projects all these things, just like they're doing in the world. these persons that are in the demons, and they see demons, demons, Democrats, demons. Hint,
Wow.
hint, hint.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Telling you, man. They just got this just a revelation. Demons, Democrats. Ah. And
Demonstration of
yeah,
Democrats.
yeah. And because they're acting just like demons, they're destroying everything in the world. They're destroying, and that's, if you look at the dollar bill, it says, there's a thing that says, uh, order out of chaos, and we're in this is now they're destroying the dollar. Okay, and that's what they think. See, and they're gonna, by doing that, they're gonna create order out of chaos. So all the supply chains, it's all, this is all organized. This is all, they've been waiting for this time. They've been organizing this for centuries, man, if not 1,000 years. For this time. So supply chains are being disrupted. So that means food. That means food shortages, and let's see, monetary systems being destroyed. Inflation is everywhere. The other currencies, the dollar is the strongest. I think that's why it's the strongest, and that has been. It's only, it's on a thread. So all this stuff is going on. The weather, they have weather weapons. They've been doing all this droughts, all that stuff is they're causing. Oh, just in these last 2 years, all this weather stuff has just happened.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
just out of nowhere. See, it's the same thing. Even the 9/11 thing, they just had the birthday of 9/11, and it's all coming out. They're saying, they're showing the bullshit. It was all a false flag from our own government. Our own government, they don't care about. They'll kill millions. They have no, doesn't matter to them.
Unbelievable.
This is who we been, and then on the outside, there's all this hypocrisy. They act like they're, you know, oh, we're just here for you, and we're good people. Oh, you guys are the frauds, and they're the biggest frauds. Oh, you guys are doing this, and they're doing everything they're, it's like, and nobody sees it. They all accept. It's your fault that this is happening. See, Democrats, the demons say that it's your fault. You people of the world, your fault that all this is happening. It's complete projections.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're living in a time like that. It's really is. It's like, yeah, it's like a bizarro trip. Yeah. Go ahead.
So no Vaishnava etiquette for Shiva, eh?
No, because he wants to help them now, bring them to purify them. Otherwise, they
That's
will not.
yeah. It's so hypocrite that Vaishnava etiquette and actually
Yeah, well,
allow.
it's just a band aid for people that are not ready to be delivered yet. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah, and it just hides things, and the hypocrisy reigns. That's where, even in the conversation, um, where Ramananda Roy is talking about the Varnashram system, he says when one analyzes the qualities and the faults, then they give it up for the next platform. See, there's a lot of faults in this etiquette stuff, and as you're progressive, you let that go, because you really, I'm not going to get purified. I need a deeper level, deeper way to be purified. See? So, so go ahead. See, it's all tied in. Everything is just all connected.
Because he shamelessly doesn't know how to act, Shiva. He has already accepted himself as my subordinate by marrying my daughter in the presence of fire and Brahmanas.
Yeah, you
He,
see, Doctor shows his level of understanding is Brahminical, on the Brahmin level, and etiquettes and bodily relations. My body was as your father, and because you took my daughter Mary, so you're, by etiquettes, a subordinate of me. You should pay me respect. See,
yeah,
that's from the bodily level. And they do
yeah,
that in religion. They do that in, oh, this person was initiated by Prabhupada. and therefore you're a grand disciple, and you need to, And that was done in the Narayan Raj stuff a lot when I was there. He was putting people. He says, "Oh, you Prabhupada disciples, you come up here on the stage, and you guys, oh, you grand disciples, you stay down. You go sit down, and these are the greater devotees." So that's the etiquettes, and that's taught. But there's a time you gotta. And see, the thing is, he's teaching that stuff and mixing it in with spontaneous devotional service and those principles. And Prabhupada did that also. And that's even in that chapter. That's why I wanted to tell you to go to the word for word on some things. It would clear things up because there's a mixture there, and then it kind of you feel it like, hey man, this ain't what is this pious deed thing? It's to do with pure, and all this because it's not quite conclusive. And yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, and it's just kind of you have to deal with it. Krishna helps us, and that's why it's if you're lucky, you get a living devotee where the Lord in the moment is according to the time, place, and circumstances, is giving you the progressive path and progressive understanding on the Vedas, even the Bible. You know, otherwise, that they need more clarity. Also, even in the Bible, there's a lot of pious things mixed in with the pure thing, and
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. He has already accepted. He pretended, presence of, yeah. He has married my daughter, who is equal to Gayatri, and he has pretended to be just like an honest person. They project.
Projecting, yeah, yeah. You can see that in the Democratic Party. I mean, it's so obvious. You look at this verse, and then you look at the Democrats, and if you have any little elevated awareness, you can see the people are just projecting. Biden is projecting. He's sitting there destroying the country. He's not. He's just acting under the modes. The modes, you're forcing him to do that. So, and but yet saying it's other people's fault and he's doing such a great job, and it's not really true. you know and so it's all a superficial act, and only people who are like uh, believe in them basically, and that's why the Lord is unearthing. He's trying to help everybody advance. See, otherwise, if you keep believing in the Lord's Maya, there's no hope for you. So he's helping in these kind of world situations. That's why I say this is a great time for preaching, because I can use, oh, this is great. Oh, this is coming up, and it's in the Bhagavatam. And Prabhupada was doing that. He was all these purports about what was going on in the world, all this, so that people can have a bridge. See, so here we're teaching so many things. Don't have faith in politicians to save you. They can't help you very well, especially now. They're actually out for blood now. And then you got the gurus. They're like a daksha type, they're just, etiquettes and all this, but they're not pure devotees like Lord Shiva. They don't have that devotional potency. Okay? So they're still identifying with false ego and can't help you very well either. So ultimately, you need to find the Lord Shiva who's working on the spiritual platform. Those are the saviors. They bring you from out of the modes. The Lord uses them to bring you out of the modes of nature. It's your way out. Okay, go ahead.
Nevertheless, he didn't stand up to receive me, nor did he think it fit to welcome me with sweet words. Can you imagine? Do you expect that?
Yeah, he wants to be well. He's full of envy and jealousies and all that stuff, and which is coming out. See, because he's in touch with the pure devotee, they draw it out of you. Just like you're drawing out of Ram Dasra, you're drawing that out of them. Envy, jealousies. Jesus did the same. That's why Jesus made the comment. He came up with a saying. He said, "It's not what you eat that pollutes you; it's what comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
The blasphemies, that's the pollution that's coming out of your mouth." You know, look at Ram Dass Vijayavad. I'm sure he's a vegetarian and all these things,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he wants to decapitate you. That's murder. You know, he wants to murder a devotee. Can you imagine? Well, don't be surprised. That's what was in the God Brothers. They, when Prabhupada took the title, Prabhupada, when they from his disciples, they went in rage. They wanted to kill him. They walked in there and they shook in most intense anger you could ever imagine, and they shook their finger at him. How dare he? Right in front of all the disciples, trying to humiliate Prabhupada. Prabhupada just sat there, and then they left. He says, "Post a guard at the door. If they get a chance, they're going to try and kill me."
Unbelievable.
These were Papa Jakacharya, blah, 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 with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
big
yeah. Because
Shrilas.
their position was in danger.
Yeah. It's just envy and jealousies and less intelligent. They can't think like a devotee that's elevated on the spiritual platform. It's impossible. To those who worship, Bhagavad Gita 10:10, to those who worship Krishna with loving ecstasy, I give them the understanding and real knowledge. Nobody else has it. They don't do that. The God brothers didn't worship on that level. They were like a daksha. They didn't under, so you hear the real Bhagavatam from them, it's not the real Bhagavatam because they're under that. You have to be elevated to a position like Lord Shiva to be under that um, divine potency, and then you can preach the real Bhagavatam and liberate people. I mean, you can listen to anybody listening to this class, you can look at the world. You take shelter of these words here, and this understanding, this knowledge you get here, not these other places, and you'll see what's going on in the world. You'll see what's going on in religion and be protected. That's how Krishna protects you. You got to find a real devotee and stay under their shelter in that circle of influence, and you'll get through the Maya. Otherwise, Maya will grab you, take you out again. Yeah. Go ahead.
I had no desire to give my daughter to this person who has broken all rules of civility because of not observing the required rules and regulations. He is impure, but I was
Mhm.
obliged to hand over my daughter to him just as one teaches the messages of the Vedas to a Sudra.
Yeah, you see, there's the difference. So Daksha is looking through the eyes of a Brahmin, just like now you can look at these devotees. Oh, Gohari, they don't follow any rules. They don't follow the etiquettes. They're, they just, they're not, they don't follow the rules of civility. Look at Gohari. He should be paying respect to Jaipataka and to Acharya Dev. These are pure devotees. These are gurus. And he's not doing so. He's not following the etiquettes. See? He's using that. And he doesn't follow. Well, yeah, Shiva doesn't have to follow strictly the rules. He follows the path of prema. He worships God in ecstasy, which we're teaching here. So it gives you more freedom from having to be strictly following all these things, which are superficial and external. You just become a naturally decent person in this world, with just worshiping the Lord in ecstasy. You don't have to be too, you don't have to, like, see, this is the problem. If you don't have pure devotional love of God, you're trying to become too perfect that way. You think, well, let me be perfect. Let me, like, follow every rule perfectly. Now I'm perfect.
Act like it,
See?
yeah.
This is external still.
Yeah.
See? And so they don't know the deeper path. Only Shiva and those who hear from Shiva type persons, the ones who are, he's a spiritual master of the universe. A real associate of the Lord Caitanya is a spiritual master of the universe. Why? Because they're ecstatic devotees. They are conclusive. Why wouldn't you want to listen to him, to those persons? They have an intimate relationship with God, and God informs them of so many secret things that are in the scriptures. that nobody knows, nobody understands unless you hear it from them revealed. You can look in Prabhupada's purport, you won't find any of this. But now you look at this, you'll see this is more clear than what Prabhupada made.
Yeah, they were not ready for that.
Yeah, not really. And Prabhupada even said after he finished the Bhagavatam, if he would live more, he would do another Bhagavatam because always deepening realization and revelation. I'll read these verses again and we'll go deeper into the whole thing.
Yeah.
But this is the essential lessons here. Right? See, so go ahead.
He lives in filthy places like crematoriums, and his companions are the ghosts and demons, naked like a madman, sometimes laughing and sometimes crying. He smears
See? Sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, not caring how he dresses.
he smears crematorium ashes all over his body. He doesn't bathe regularly. He's not taking a shower at 3 in the night. And he
Yeah.
ornaments his body with a garland of skulls and bones. Therefore, only in name is he Shiva or auspicious.
Yeah,
Actually,
see, it's the opposite. Yeah, go ahead. But
actually, he's the most mad and inauspicious creature.
yeah, he's speaking about himself. Yeah, he's inauspicious. Still, see that Lord Chaitanya taught these and that's why I teach them also. Nothing's really auspicious in this universe in the mode of goodness. It's not really fully auspicious. It's a shadow of auspiciousness, even goodness, because you see these are the faults in the mode of goodness. Is especially when you get a position of authority and then you get corrupted by the opulences, you become more puffed up, more competitive, and more like proud of your knowledge and stuff. So there's that danger because you're tasting the ras. This is like a forbidden fruit, and it's very dangerous. That's why often the lower castes are liberated first because they're not covered over by that puffed up. They won't listen to devotees. You see how simple people come here and they listen, they hear, and usually the sannyasis and the gurus, where are they? The Brahmins. They, we get only a few, that are coming, like Freddie and some others. Yeah,
Thus he's very dear to crazy beings in the gross mode of ignorance.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he
You
is there.
see, yeah, because they come first. They come first, and to serve Shiva. Um, so Shiva works on different levels because he's so powerful that he can go into these and deal with the dead. He can go to hell. He can raise people up that are in the darkest modes, and just by his presence is auspicious. See, Shiva means auspicious. See, so Daksha, he was only auspicious in name only.
Yeah.
But Shiva was in truth, in flesh, auspicious. Just to see Lord Shiva mad in ecstasy is auspicious.
Yeah. That's the
Daksha,
auspicious.
you wouldn't see. That's why these gurus, they're like that. They've still got coverings. That's why they never responded. Narayan Raj didn't like this ecstatic devotion. He thought he should take my disciples and reinitiate them. That's what he thought. He was so high. But things are reversed now, reversing. Same thing with was it uh, what's that guy Radhanath? He said, "Oh yeah, go away from Gohari. He's not in the real line. Go to Narayan Raj."
The blind leading the blind.
Yeah, blind leading the blind. Yeah, see, so like that. because it's hard to see a devotee's devotional position because it's outside of this whole universe and everything's covered here. That's why that's why you got to get purified. You got to come in there and get purified by hearing. Even Jesus told his disciples, "You're clean by the word I spoke to you. Otherwise, you won't get that spirit Jesus had. You guys wouldn't get the spirit I had unless there was some purification." See? That's what it's about. And that's why anybody who comes here, you get purified and you start to get this spirit. Even regardless of you being perfect, you see what's going on. Like even some of the devotees have a little bad behavior sometimes, you know. But still the Lord he's very
Yes.
merciful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. On the request of Lord Brahma, I handed over my chaste daughter to him, although he is devoid of all cleanliness and his heart is filled with nasty things. Why did Lord Brahma ask uh, to give his daughter to Shiva? To please Shiva or
Well, I don't know the story. That story, I never came across it in the Bhagavatam, but so he's just mentioning it. So there was something, probably in some Veda, where that's a pastime, like where he gave.
Mm,
But I never came across that, so
okay.
we don't know. Read that again. Read that again.
On the request of Lord Brahma, I handed over my chaste daughter to him, although he is devoid of all cleanliness, and his heart is filled with nasty things.
See, again, projection. He's projecting all these nasty things on Shiva. Shiva's not like that. It's a lie. It's a complete lie. See, and but that's how you see how Shiva's pulling out all that nastiness in Daksha. Daksha was getting purified by Lord Shiva. He ended up becoming a pure devotee after this. And this whole thing was said and done. Go
The
ahead.
sage, the
I'm sorry.
sage Maitreya continued. Thus Daksha, seeing Lord Shiva sitting as if against him, he washed his hands and mouth and cursed him in the following words: the demigods are eligible to share in the oblations of sacrifice, but Lord Shiva, who is the lowest of all the demigods, he should not have a share.
Yeah, and that is actually a glorification of Lord Shiva because he's the lowest of all the demigods. In other words, he's the most humble.
Ah,
Shiva is so powerful, but he's actually the most humble. He just likes to do meditation, just sit there and liberate people, and nobody understands him. Very few people understand him. That's why here it's so severe. Many devotees, as they're getting purified, they this desire to be important and all that. That's actually a contamination, uh, and and that you get that purified out, and then you'll understand. Most people can't understand your activities. It's just how it goes. It's just they're on another level of consciousness, and if you want their energy, see that's the pollution. You want them to give you acknowledgement. See, like this, but you don't need it. Shiva doesn't need that. He doesn't need acknowledgement. That's why this is the teaching
yeah,
here is you get so satisfied
yes,
worshiping the Lord. You're not looking, nobody can add anything to you, but you can add to them. You can add to them by elevating them now. That's why, Prabhupada, I was worshiping in ecstasy from the beginning. And Prabhupada didn't just come right away or even after years. After years, he came and worshiping in ecstasy for a long time to get this work to do. You got to have be at a certain point, and still I had to go through stuff, with these Radhakund Babajis and with Jesus, and to refine it more and get really clear on what's going on here. What are we dealing with? You got to know the territory. And, see now, see we can deal with these and can protect everything. Everything is more clear. And, you know, when especially you got to hold. You see how we have to hold the line here, because people they're also sometimes attracted to this and attracted to that. Go back to Jesus, and go to this, and or go back to Vitae, you know. So here now we're solid. We just keep going, and eventually that'll draw people back, because this is the solid thing. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, the Jesus worshippers, they call Krishna a false god. For them, it's they told me that to worship Krishna is a false god.
yeah. It's just, but they're all doing it. It's religion. Um,
Mhm.
People are more or less in religion, and that's what even you could say the Vaides out there, and they think we're worshiping a false god. That see, my God is this ecstasy, and my that's Radha to me. That's devotion. She's adorable, man. She's worthy to be adored, and to call every day. Oh yeah, without Radha, there's nothing. The worship is not complete. See, and they think my God that I worship is a false one. Oh, that's emotional. That's material. No, it's emotional, but it's spiritually emotional. It's a special gift of God. Lord Caitanya in his line, and I haven't seen it anywhere. So I was looking in the Narayan Raja Radhakambhava. I didn't see this spirit there. Matter of fact, there was opposition to it. They were jealous of it. I remember when I first started preaching in the Rhyme Raj group, they couldn't deny, there was, because I'd give a class and they'd look at it, they thought, no, well, he must have a boon of Lord Shiva to speak like that. They knew there was something good there, but they couldn't give it
They
really.
couldn't admit.
Yeah, it is. Oh, there it is. Yeah, you got some boon of Lord Shiva to speak like that. That's it. It can't. It's not pure. It's
Let's
Shiva stuff.
minimize.
But actually, what they say is true. I do have a boon. Lord Shiva, I have his grace. I have the grace of. So this is wonderful, man. I love the great. I love Shiva. Shiva is awesome, man. He's like Jesus, powerful. Spoke up, did stuff. You're my
Mm,
heroes, man. I love Shiva, Jesus. Ooh, Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda. Ah.
attach that. Can I read the question that
Yeah,
Freddy
yeah,
asked?
yeah, yes, please.
If Daksha had the effulgence of the Brahmayoti, which is transcendental, then he was beyond goodness.
Um, well, you can you could say it's mixed. You could see the false ego in people that are into that stuff. Still, they're jealous of the form of the Lord.
Yeah.
See, and that if you're jealous of the form of the Lord, and that's why people in that fall down often because of offenses to the form. Actually, Lord Chaitanya said that. He said these persons they're offensive to the form; they preach against it. Uh, so by actually, he may acknowledge the form superficially, uh, but you go against it when you go against the devotee who represents that form in the world. Shiva represented the spiritual form of the Lord in the spiritual dimension. Um, yeah. So yeah, it's just he had some powerful charisma of this like I saw in the Narayan Raj. He definitely had a charisma, energy, but it wasn't as clean as it could be. This is the thing. It wasn't Lord Chaitanya's grace. That's why he didn't preach it. Is it? Why would you if you're preaching, yeah, pure devotion and radi, radi, radi? Well, why wouldn't you bring people to be able to taste transcendental mellows to the point of ecstasy and laughing and crying and all that? You can go look at Shamarani. She was with him for 20 years. When I mentioned, oh, that's a great painting with mucus coming out of Radha's nose, And she says, "That's not mucus, that's a nose ring." Oh, sorry. I said, "Well, that's it happens, worshiping in ecstasy." She says, "And that's not true. It's not in the Vedas." So, right, she still would say that. See, doesn't make much progress, right? Same the way they were then, the same now. Not much. They're just older. Yeah, see, and that is a devotional symptom, and yet her Narayan Raj never taught about it because they don't know by experience, you know. And that she's a guru now, right? See, there's your guru, man. Doesn't know about devotional symptoms, but don't go to Gohar. He's only got a T-shirt, but she's been initiated by the illustrious Narayan Raj. See, so that was the same thing with Dakshin Shiva. Everybody says, "What is this Shiva?" Look at him. He's the offended. Daksha is correct. Let's side with Daksha.
It's the safest position.
Yeah, yeah, not really, but they think it is.
No, no, yeah, yeah. For their false ego, it's the safest position. Maitreya continued, "My dear Vidura, in spite of the requests of all the members of the sacrificial assembly, Daksha, in great anger, cursed Lord Shiva and then left the assembly and went back to his home. Upon understanding that Lord Shiva had been cursed, Nandishvara, one of Lord Shiva's principal associates, became greatly angry. His eyes became red, and he prepared to curse Daksha. I feel it. And all the Brahmanas present there, who had tolerated Daksha's cursing Shiva in hard words.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. When you hear a pure devotee that represents the spiritual potency, is see that was correct. Was the disciple of Lord Shiva, the intimate associate, defended him. See, stood up for him. That's a great opportunity for preaching because most people won't. Look at millions of demigods; they tolerated the cursing, but not the devotee of Shiva. And this curse is very interesting, actually.
Mm, let's see. Anyone who has accepted Daksha as the most important personality and neglected Lord Shiva because of envy is less intelligent.
There we go.
And
I love that.
me
That
too.
is That is so true. And that's exactly the obstacle you people there in ISKCON and all that. That's where we stir up a little bit of trouble here, a little bit of fight, because we got to preach the real Bhagavatam, man. Anybody, and I'll just repeat that curse, and that goes on for all that. Anybody who considers the devotional service that those devotees are doing in all those sanghas to be equal or better than the worship of this Sangha is less intelligent.
Yeah.
And we're already proving it. Nobody will give a class in this kind of understanding that we have here, like this. See? So that's what I always noticed about the Narayan Raj group. I saw they were less intelligent. I know that, I would listen to their conclusions. Some of these been around initiated by Prabhupada, went to him, and I listened to their understanding. I thought, it's not very good. It's less intelligent. I thought that's exactly and they couldn't understand these deeper, subtler principles. And there's a reason for that, because I don't accept persons like Dakshas in this world to be superior to Prabhupada or any pure devotee. If I did, I'd be less intelligent because it's just natural. If you're less intelligent, you won't know the difference between a Brahmin and a real Vaishnava, a purified Vaishnava that has a
Yeah.
divine potency.
Yeah.
See? You're just naturally less intelligent, and you can overcome that by the association of a person like this here in our sangha. You'll get purified, and you'll understand the difference. Otherwise, not. You'll just those persons will they will act like pure devotees, but it's only an act. They don't know what it is, and that's the only reason I can preach like this. Is as soon as I rejected Tamal Krishna as being on the same level as Prabhupada, boom, I was free. I was free. They accept their guru on the same level as Prabhupada. And they can say, oh, no, we don't, and blah, blah, but they do just by accepting him as their deliverer. Because guru is one. If you're in the real line, the current goes all the way through to the guru. See, all the way through to the current acharya. See, and so that current was stopped for me. As soon as I accepted him, boom, I was cut off.
Deep.
Yeah, yeah, that's how it works. That's but see, but they're those who are less intelligent.
They don't feel that. They don't realize. Guru Maharaj, you're gone. Hey Krishna. Yeah, if you don't realize that, then you don't feel the difference. But if you are like Guru Maharaj, that ecstatic, then you feel that. You immediately feel something is wrong here. This is not. This is not clear wine. Oh, I hope he knows that he's not there anymore. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Bhaktatam says, anyone who has accepted Dasha as the most important personality and neglected Lord Shiva because of envy is less intelligent, and because of visualizing in duality will be bereft of transcendental knowledge. Of course, if you don't recognize the real Satchitananda, if you don't recognize the transcendental potency, you won't have transcendental knowledge. You will be cut off, like Guru Maharaj says. I cannot move this here for seeing the next. Shall I read the next sentence then? I will read the next sentence. Pretentiously religious householder life, in which one is attracted to material happiness and thus also attracted to the superficial explanation of the Vedas, robs one of all intelligence and attaches one to fruitive activities as all in all, Um, this sentence, I don't understand the sentence. Pretentiously religious householder life that I understand. One is attracted to material happiness.
Okay, we
Okay,
back.
okay. Ah, yeah, yeah, you're back.
Yeah, yeah. All right. All right, go ahead and read on.
Yeah, I will repeat these sentences.
Yeah.
Pretentiously religious householder life in which one is attracted to material happiness and thus also attracted to the superficial explanation of the Vedas, robs one of all intelligence and attaches one to fruitive activities as
Read that
all.
again. Read that again. I guess, yeah, read that again.
Yeah, pretentiously religious householder life in which one is attracted to material happiness and thus also attracted to the superficial explanation of the Vedas, robs one of all intelligence and attaches one to fruitive activities as all in all. Yeah, the
Yeah, and
rest.
that's the kind of devotees Prabhupada brought. He brought people to that level. Um, and so that's the curse of Nandi, that if you accept these Brahminical type persons as on the same level as Lord Shiva, that is your curse. It's not a curse, it's just your lot. That's what happens when you accept a mundane person. It's still mundane, doesn't matter how Brahminical they are, as your leader, as your source, because they can only teach you superficial. They study the Vedas, they memorize it like they do in ISKCON and all these groups. They memorize all these things, and then they quote the verses and all that stuff. And as far as you can go is basically still be a materialistic Vaishnava. Still, you're going to be attached to fruitive actions and fruitive activities. Because you put those persons, their their authority above the authority of a pure devotee that is actually empowered by the spirit, the spiritual potency. And that's what we're here to do, because otherwise you're under the curse of that Nandi, the intimate associate, which is, it's just the way the world works. If you worship a mundane person, you get a mundane result. If they're even a Brahmin, like that Devananda Pandit was a good example. He's a Brahmin, and he had all these followers and all this. But the Lord, you see, the Lord even chastised him, just like Shiva ended up chastising Daksha, to bring people to let go of worshiping the mundane as spiritual. That's why I said, unless you really have a pure devotee, which is very rare, as your deliverer, don't put these all these thousands of gurus on the altar. They're not a Vishnu Tattva. They're not part of the spiritual potency until the Lord awakens in your heart.
Absolutely.
That's why our preaching is very different than anybody's, because there are very few people like this, that have the real shelter of Lord Chaitanya. But if people will understand these classes, if you come, you'll understand. Oh, I see. This is why I'm still attached to household life, and this is why I don't have ecstasy. Why you can't chant like we do? See, like Shiva does. You see, Shiva chants, laughs, and cries. Yeah, we also laugh and cry, because we're of that family now. We're here to preach these principles. If you come and develop faith, if you get purified here, that's why you got to get purified of all this faith you had in all the lies and all the deceptions and all the mundane looking spiritual and all that stuff. Then you can start to relish what we relish. If you listen, just like Prahlad preached like this, he said, I listened to a pure devotee in the womb of my mother and took it to heart. And now I'm also like Narda now. I can also chant like Narda does with great ecstasy. See? And if you listen to my preaching, See, that's a disciplic line. You listen to a real devotee that has a devotional potency. If you listen to my word, you can also become like me. See, you see how this is really passed on? This is, we're doing the real deal. This is the real Bhagavatam, man. This is real Chaitanya Leela. This is reality. Because it works like that. You guys are listening and getting purified, and you're becoming the ecstatic potencies awakening in you. That's what it's meant to be. This is the real path. This is a very rare representation of it. This is where you can get Vrindavan. You can chant the holy name in great ecstatic love, and you'll have the full protection of Krishna. Your whole lives, wherever you go, Krishna will be there. You can get that. But it hasn't been proven in the Raj group, hasn't been proven in ISKCON, hasn't been proven this kind of deal, this kind of relationship is offered yet, except here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Um, Daksha has accepted the body as all in all.
Yeah, you see, Daksha's accepted the body as all in all. He's saying, "Oh yeah, my false ego is all in all." He's not even thinking that he has any perfect imperfections. Oh no, he's got a right call and everything. Isn't that like this? Is these people? They act like little dakshas.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, we know all about Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh, go Hari, what is it? Well, we know everything. See, all in all, they had. There's no doubt that they're not. They don't. Oh, but are you pure vote? Oh no, no, no. But we know all about this, and we have the right to blaspheme you and criticize, even though you have disciples and all that. Well, we don't care. We do blah 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 blah, just like Daksha. Yeah,
exactly the same.
yeah, Doc. Even Shiva back, he had to admit Shiva's powerful. Yet he thought he could just really degrade him, bring him down, cut him to size, but it didn't work. Yeah. So people that take the all in all, and you can see it. They take all the rules as all in all. Varnashram, they're in this box of mode of goodness. This is all in all for them. The best is the study of the Vedas and the superficial understanding that they have. And they look at this class. You can get a Charya Dev to watch this class, and they'll be like, yeah, see, because he doesn't accept. You got to accept a real living devotee in this life, and to get this preaching. Not like he took initiation from Prabhupada, right? But he didn't get these teachings, and he can't understand these teachings. And that goes for all of them. They need the shiksha. They need the shiksha. We're here to finish it. And I mean, you can prove that you know the Bhagavatam as well as we do here, huh? It's not possible unless you worship the Lord with prema. You cannot understand these things like this unless there's real prema there. And it's so deep that even they can't even understand it because they're identifying as all in all their false ego. Oh, I got to be bigger. I am a big guru. I am the one that's in authority. See, and then they'll project that on me like, oh, you're the one doing. Well, I'm just presenting the conclusion. This is not superficial. This is as it is, and it gives revelation to the scriptures. So it's beautiful. Yeah, thank you, Lord. Yeah, go ahead.
So Daksha has accepted the body as all in all. Therefore, since he has forgotten the Vishnupada or Vishnu Gati and is attached to sex life only, within a short time he will have the face of a goat.
See, sex life only. See, he didn't say, like you can't have
No.
like a feeling for sex life. No, only. It's all in all for him. He's just thinking propagating. He's a Prajapati. He's just think making babies, making babies.
Yeah,
That's what it's
material.
all about. you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. See, and so Daksha's forgotten about Vishnu Tattva. He doesn't know Vishnu Tattva now. This is the living entities. They don't know. They've forgotten about Vishnu. They don't know the what's above the modes of nature. They've forgotten. So we're here. What is the religion of the age? Lord Chaitanya said, remind people about that. Teach them about that. Teach them the glories of Vishnu Tattva. So if you come here, you'll learn to worship only transcendental personalities, and therefore you'll have the protection of Krishna. Otherwise, you got the protection of mundane personalities. These gurus, they don't see. You're finding they're not protecting you very well. They're telling you get the clot shot, the death shot. See, so then not very good protection, even on the physical level. They can't protect your spiritual body, its development, because there's not even awakened yet, as far as
Yeah.
I can see.
So, um, those who have become as dull as matter by cultivating materialistic education and intelligence are nesciently involved in fruitive activities. Such men have purposely insulted Lord Shiva. May they continue in the cycle of repeated birth and death.
You see why you have to eventually recognize a savior. You have to recognize an empowered servant of the spiritual potency. That's coming in the real line. That's why you could see a pure devotee can come before any of these gurus here. And if they are not recognized, you continue in the cycle of birth and death. But if you recognize and you begin to associate with such a person, very quickly you transcend the cycle of birth and death. See? That's how simple it is. That's why Jesus said, whoever believes in me will be purified of all sins. Okay? So, an empowered person of the spiritual potency is like that. You'll continue. Don't haven't I been preaching like this? You'll take another birth unless you accept this preaching. That's what Lord Chaitanya said. See, Lord Chaitanya represented the spiritual potency. He also, like Lord Shiva, laughed and cried in ecstasy. Right, Lord Shiva, Lord Chaitanya, his followers. Who else now in 2022 laughs and cries and chants in ecstasy like Lord Shiva and like
Chaitanya.
um, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, their followers? Oh,
Nobody? You?
here, see, and therefore, when this our sangha is accepted, then you won't take another birth. Otherwise, that's what the Lord said. You have to come. That's why this is the test now. If we can convince people through knowledge, see, this is not superficial knowledge. You come and you listen carefully. You see, this is very deep. These are the deep. This is the real Bhagavatam. The real Bhagavatam is the map how to get out of the illusion. And I'm just calling. I'm reading the map here. The map has got a very specific path. See, and so I'm reading the map. You see, there's got to be the book Bhagavat and the devotee Bhagavat. And then you're lifted up to the transcendental position. Otherwise, if you think Acharya Dev's preaching is as good as this or Radhanath's as good as this, well, you'll continue in the cycle of birth and death. Because this is the Bhagavatam example. This is the living example. This is the test. So you can look here, you see here the symptoms and the qualities of the worship that we do. And if you become convinced and put this above the preaching of Radhanath, I'd say I like to make it personal. It's something nice about that, even though a lot of people don't like. Too bad. So yeah, Radhanath and Narayan Raj even also. Then you'll get this. Otherwise, you just stay as you are. I mean, I can go out and look at the Narayan. There are a lot of rituals, etiquettes, all in the name of purebhakti.com with not any pure bhakti dot coming. No ecstatic tears and laughter and all this. No appreciation of what we're doing. If they were doing like what we're doing, I'd say, oh, this is fantastic, right? Because it's beautiful. This is transcendental. Oh, another place the Lord is being revealed. Or Ram Das Vijayavasi, if I could see in his writing, because he wouldn't even give a class or anything, in his writing something, but it was all hodgepodge speculation. Even in his actions, oh yes, Tamal Krishna is my guru, and then I have Prabhupada is my shiksha, and then I got Sridhar Maharaj and Narayan Raj, and I'm just all this conglomeration stuff. He couldn't distinguish out what's what in there.
Mm.
So that's just how this transcendental science works. You want Krishna easily, you want to transcend the birth and death cycle, come and listen very carefully and see for yourself that if you can become convinced like we are. That's why I'm ecstatic. That's why Lita's ecstatic and others are ecstatic. They believe in this preaching. They're convinced. Therefore, the Lord says, oh, here, can't you see? This is your reward. You become an ecstatic, liberated soul like Shiva, like all these great devotees. You get the love of God. You can relish transcendental mellows. If you're good with that, you like that reward, anybody? Oh no, I want to be Guru Dave. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, you can go join Meena there. You can be a co-leader with her, or Mahavirya, or whoever else wants that stuff and sacrifices such a nice family. We're here to teach the path. This has never been distinguished so well, actually, so clearly. We're taking what Jesus said, what Lord Caitanya said, and really clarifying with it, really so that even an ignoramus can understand and just enter into the kingdom. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to get into the kingdom of God. You don't have to be some super devotee, super duper duped up renunciate Brahmin type person to get into the kingdom of Vrindavan. No, you just have to be in the right place at the right time, in the right situation, and that's here. Simple.
May those who are envious of Lord Shiva, being attracted by the flowery language of the enchanting Vedic promises, and who have thus become dull, always remain attached to fruitive activities. These Brahmanas take to education, austerity, and vows only for the purpose of maintaining the body. I was talking about it.
Yeah, I mean that's what I've seen. In other words, they do these things so that they can get the little brahmacharis to serve them. So that they can make money off of God and to be respected and to be worshipped.
Yeah.
See? So they have to go deeper, and the only way to is you got to meet the real devotees who have real devotion, and they're doing it's like my it's a whole different thing. I'm doing this work because I like the taste. I like the taste of the truth. I like the taste of the name, and I don't have to do austerities to get a following. See, I'm doing it the way the Lord patterned it out. If you can taste the name, you just go on tasting and relishing, and your preaching comes from that, from those realizations, revelations that you ascertain. See, so a Brahmin is not different. They're looking. They want to attain. See, because you got to get Krishna by grace, love of God by grace. They think still by their own austerities and by their own path. You see, that's what Narayana is preaching. Man. I'm telling you, man, I was there. Always a renounce. They're all into renunciations. austerities, difficult things to attain Krishna. Eh? But that's not the way. The easy way is you just when the devotee is there, they lift you up, they save you. Yeah. See how this is all identifiable. You can look in the book here and we explain, and then you look at the different sanghas and you see what path they're really following. This is meant to give light to, it's not just a book to keep on the shelf. It's we need to ascertain things as they are, otherwise you're confused. Maya confuses you. Maya keeps you down, keeps you in ignorance. Yeah.
They shall be devoid of discrimination between what to eat and what not to eat. They will acquire money begging from door to door simply for the satisfaction of the body.
Oh, is this still Nandi giving the curse? Or is it switched? Because the Brahmanas counter curse.
It's still um, it's still the same. Who is taking the side of Lord Shiva?
Yeah. Is it still him?
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
yeah, yeah. Nothing changed.
Okay.
These brahmanas, these brahmanas take to education, austerity, and vows only for the purpose of maintaining the body. They shall be devoid of discrimination between what to eat and what not to eat. They will acquire money, begging from door to door simply for the satisfaction of the body.
I got to see this. Eat, not
Please,
eat. That seems
yeah,
unusual. See, that's why you
yeah,
got to look at the word for word. Let me
yeah.
look at the word for word on that. Okay,
Meanwhile, I
chapter.
go to toilet.
Yeah, you know what I need to do also after you. Go ahead. One of my rare moments of going to the bathroom during class. All right, let's look at the word for word here.
Yeah, I also thought this was a strange sentence.
Eating everything. Yeah. Okay, so
The purpose.
this is actually unusual because this would be because Brahmanas do make discrimination about eating.
Yeah,
So yeah, so I'm going to go to the definitions actually. So you can do that. You can take it down.
yeah.
Eating everything,
Everything the
okay.
Brahmanas maintaining having taken
Consuming the populace. Drinking only water. Eating everything. Consuming the populace. Oh, okay, all right, all right. So what I would so no, they do discriminate for eating um, physical food, but what they do, what they eat, they believe in just mundane things like eating anywhere, accepting energy anywhere and everywhere. Um, well, they don't even do that too because they only want to associate with Brahminical persons. They don't want to associate with those in the modes. So I don't know why that's in there. It's kind of an unusual thing. It's one of those things. I don't know. I just would just eating every. It seems so out of character for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Just the
because
opposite.
yeah, it's the opposite. I don't know. Maybe it's a beta base, and maybe it's not in the. Somebody has to. If somebody will look in Prabhupada's books and see if that eating anything is in there too.
Freddy, will you do that?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah,
Tom?
yeah. Maybe if somebody will do it. Let's see. All right, go on. Go on from there.
No, I need to go back in. So, when all the hereditary Brahmanas were thus cursed by Nandishvara, the sage Birgu, as a reaction, condemned the followers of Lord Shiva with his very strong Brahminical curse. One who takes a vow to satisfy Lord Shiva or who follows such principles will certainly become an atheist and be diverted from transcendental scriptural injunctions. What is a vow?
Vow,
A
like
vow?
an austerity.
Oh, but I don't understand this sentence.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's look at the word for word too. That's another
Yeah,
thing.
okay.
Okay. I'll say the word for word. Bhava Vrata Dara, taking a vow to satisfy Lord Shiva. Ye who cha and ye who cha
And
principles following atheists. They let them become diverted from transcendental. See, again,
trans
Sat
something
Shastra Prapita, um, diverted from transcendental. I got to look for the definition here too. Yeah. So basically, there's two things: diverted from transcendental scriptural injunctions. A lot of people might think that the scriptural injunctions are transcendental. They're not. They're material. They're to do. Scriptural injunctions are just they're the external bhakti. See, they're not really transcendental yet. They're like a shadow of the truth. They're like ceremonies and stuff. Um, but then again, there can be transcendental scriptural injunctions, like given by Lord Caitanya. Like he said, worship the Lord according to the scriptural injunctions of this age, which is to do Harinam in association with devotees. See? That's like an injunction, but just a deeper truth. So we actually do follow scriptural injunctions, but they're the ones that are the essence. See? So that's one thing I could say about that. Okay, go on with something else next. I don't like, the Brahmins' curses aren't very good. The better ones were come from the demons that were followers of Shiva. Much better curses. These are kind of just like about the Brahmin
too
thing. Go ahead.
soft.
Yeah, too soft and too mixed up. Go ahead. Let's see what else.
Prabhupada Saraswati is better. Those who vow to worship Lord Shiva are so foolish that they imitate him by keeping long hair on their heads. When initiated into worship of Lord Shiva, they prefer to live on wine, flesh, and other such things.
Yeah, it's
What
kind of
come
yeah. It's just kind of superficial. It's like something. Again, you got to follow the rules to become a pure devotee and all that. Well, you can make advancement into the mode of goodness, but the Lord ain't restricted. That's just what a Brahmin would say. because they think in terms of that Brahminical advancement up to being a Brahmin. And often they may even think that's pure devotional service, is that. Daksha did, obviously. He thought he was better than Shiva. He didn't know there was anything more. See, that's the thing. In Vaishnavism now, they don't believe there's anything more than their Brahminical type worship. They think that's transcendental. But there's this other level. Okay? Yeah, go ahead.
Burgamuni continued, since you blaspheme the Vedas and the Brahmanas, who are followers of the Vedic principles, it is understood that you have already taken shelter of the doctrine of atheism. The Vedas give the eternal regulative principles for auspicious advancement in human civilization, which have been rigidly followed in the past. The strong evidence of this principle is a supreme personality of Godhead, who is called Janardana, the well-wisher of all living entities.
Yeah, and you see, they have it in name only, and so, but Nandishwar, he's got it in truth. See, the door is always the devotee, and he's worshiping the devotee. Okay? Read that whole thing again.
The Vedas give the eternal regulative principles for auspicious advancement in human civilization,
Yeah,
which
again, yeah. See, so that's the superficial. See, Nandi cursed them. Oh, if you don't honor Lord Shiva, who's a pure devotee, and you think Daksha is above that or even equal to that, then you'll be less intelligent and you'll think like that Brahmin curse there. So you think auspicious advancement in human civilization, and it is. I mean, Prabhupada also, he was preaching that let's get some advancement, in civilization, and you culture, make it like a Krishna culture, type thing, cultural Vaishnavism, but it's still material. It's still not the real Bhagavatam. This is why you see this is so deep and so high. People need some background, hopefully, if they're coming that way. And so, okay, great, you worship Krishna now for 20, 30, 40 years. Okay, are you ready for this? Are you ready for the real Bhagavatam? Yeah, some maybe, some won't.
such a big difference.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and whatever devotees who take shelter of a pure devotee, whether they eat this or not, they're not saved by what they eat or don't eat now. They've been saved, and now they're saved in their relationship with the Lord, their ecstatic, intimate relationship. That's why Lord Caitanya quoted the verse: "Those who get the mercy, those who are engaged in pure devotional service." Um, they counteract the karma you get from being born in a lower birth. You counteract that now because of your pure devotional worship. Let's see, want to read what is it? Tom says this. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's okay. It's a big long thing. Um, yeah. You know what? I'll be right back. You chant Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prestaya Bhutare, Srimate, Bhaktivedanta, Paramahamsa, Sri Lagora Haridas, Maharaj, Acharya, Itiravide, Namaste. Prabhupada Deve. Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha. Suyavadi. Pastachate Jatarine. Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda. Sri Advaita Gadadhara. Srivas. Adhikora Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Prabhu Nityananda. Sri Advaita. Sri Advaita. Gadadhara. Srivas Adhikora Bhakta Vrinda.
Yeah. Yeah, keep your microphone on. Let's just chant for a bit. That's enough of that because we'll continue later. Got to be empowered to go. It's just a lot of talk. It's deep things. Enough to absorb in that for a while.
Yeah, it's great to find this as an example
Yeah, it's
to
good stuff.
distinguish real devotees from wannabes who want to be worshipped and who want to have the obeisances, etc. It's very clear here in
Yeah,
this scriptures. Yeah, very
yeah.
clear.
It's just hard to make this distinction without you. That's why the devotees have to come here and they have to preach really deep, and then you're delivered to the next platform. Otherwise, most of the world at best are Brahmins. They're considered the earthly gods because people look up to Brahmins and religious leaders and stuff. But it's not enough to go into the kingdom. You got to get this special mercy. Let's see, Tom, is he looking? Are you a little more grounded, Tom? Yeah, good. Put some tick cream on. Okay. All right, let's
Also,
chant. Let's do a chant a little bit. Hare Krishna. Keep your microphones on. Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Rama.
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Krishna, Krishna,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Ram,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
oh, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama.
Ram, 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 Hare
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 Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama.
Rama Rama Hare
Oh.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna Krishna.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare
Rama Rama,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama.
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Rama Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna, Hare
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 Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama Rama, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama.
Hare
Rama.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna